much. Hello, everyone. I appreciate there were rumors of some happy hours going around, so thanks a lot for sticking around. Although now I've said that, you're probably all going to rush off. The talk today is on leading the charge through influencer marketing. So really quick agenda. So I'll start off with some intros just so you have a bit of context on who I am, what Wild is, and then I'm going to try and run through a little bit of our story of influencer marketing and our journey so far, kind of how it all started from scratch to the kind of setup today. And I think, bear in mind, this is definitely coming from the perspective of a brand that has kind of scaled it in-house and very performance-focused as well. I'm known for waffling a bit, so time permitting, hopefully we can get on to why I think influence marketing is so essential in today's world and absolutely critical for businesses scaling, especially online, and then some reflections on the key lessons to winning in influencer marketing. Cool, so first things first, my name's Harry, I'm the marketing director at Wild. I joined as the first employee about 5 years ago now. My primary responsibility is to drive the growth of the business online. A large part of that has been scaling the influencer marketing function in-house, which I feel has been fairly integral to the success so far, but of course I'm a little bit biased. For those of you that haven't heard of Wild, this is Wild. We're a refillable bathroom brand. Our mission is to remove all single-use plastic and unnecessary chemicals from the bathroom all around the world. It's a pretty bold vision, but we feel like we're well on our way to achieving that. We launched probably 5 years ago. We actually launched in the first week of lockdown in the UK, which was a pretty nerve-wracking time to launch the business. I remember it, there were just 4 of us working remotely at the time. And when we launched, the website actually crashed first thing, which was pretty terrifying, a bit of a hair pulling out moment. But that sort of set the scene for kind of the growth that was to come and the instant kind of product market fit that we felt we had and the demand that was there. So fast forward today, we sell millions of refillable products every single month. We operate in over 8 different markets. We're a team of just under 100 people now, and you can find us in kind of most major retailers, not just in the UK, but internationally as well. So that's a bit of context, but what I'm here to talk to you today about is our influence marketing journey. I want to take you through the kind of 5 steps that we kind of went through naturally, not coming from an influencer marketing background. Hopefully there's some practical insights in there for brands as well to take away if you're just starting out or if you're at some scale. So, I thought I'd just start with this picture. This is a picture of me on the way to the post office. I think we were a couple weeks into having just launched. We basically felt like we had an amazing product. We knew it was creating a new market. We knew it was, really sexy. We knew it was going to push the boundaries of sustainability. And so we were essentially at the stage where we just wanted to get this product into people's hands. People that cared, people that had an audience that could really promote the product and really drive the growth for us. So, throwback 4.5 years ago, picture 3 guys sitting in an office. I don't think any of us had a social media account. We didn't know who any influencers were. We weren't exactly the kind of the cool type, but we knew we had to get this product into people's hands. So what we did is we set up a power hour every single day where all of us would just reach out to hundreds of influencers every single day. Could be thousands on some day. And we just asked people if they wanted to try Wild and give it a go, see what they thought of it. And if they did like it, then maybe promote it in front of their audience. Of course, there's no obligation to do that. But if they wanted to promote it, that would really help us. And so, we did that. We went pretty hard at it. And what we started to see were, maybe 50% of people would post. 20% of those people would then actually drive some conversion for us. And that was super exciting because it was super cost efficient, and it's probably still one of our most cost efficient channels today is just doing gifting. And you'd get the odd win, one influencer might drive 50 conversions, one influencer might drive 100, and those would start to pay off all of the gifting product costs for everyone else. And then you could feel the awareness was growing for us online as well. So the great thing about gifting was that we started to get noticed, we started to build our brand awareness, we started to build a bit of a social presence, but what it really helped us do with influencers was understand, okay, what was the type of influencer that actually wanted to post about our product? What were the natural messaging kind of USPs that they would go with without having a brief, and how we could kind of take it to the next level. The issue with gifting was that it's not actually very scalable because it's so resource intensive, and you don't have much control over the output that you're actually putting into it. Hence, we moved on to trying our first paid campaign. So I'm sure Naomi won't mind me putting this picture up here now. She's actually an investor in Wild. And yeah, this was kind of the next step for us, was we needed to figure out how we could actually move to the paid world of influencer marketing. So internally, we debated for probably a month who was going to be the best influencer we could possibly take this risk with. And after a lot of debate, we landed on Naomi. And for those that don't know Naomi, she's an amazing lifestyle blogger, influencer, really cares about sustainability, health and wellness. We thought she'd be a perfect fit. So we negotiated 3 months. We landed on a fee of £6,000. Her rate cards have probably changed since, just in case you go and try and hustle her now. And that was for some Instagram stories and a grid post. So it was a lot of money for us back then. I remember thinking, if this doesn't work, then I'm probably going to lose my job. So I hope that it works. And yeah, we lined it all up. So I remember that very clearly. I was very nervous. I had to go on a run to get all my nerves out before she went live. Got back to the desk. She posted some content. I had my Google Analytics up, and it was just insane. We just saw traffic go through the roof. We were like, what the hell is going on? Like, we've never had this much traffic as a D2C brand before. And what was even better was that traffic started to convert, and it was really qualified customers. So this for us was like a light bulb moment for influencer marketing. We knew that there's something big in this, and there's something really scalable if we can get this to repeat, and if we can work with people like Naomi on a really long-term basis. So that's what we sort of set out to do from that moment. So then the next 4 campaigns we tested all completely failed. Imagine like a similar price point, people that we thought were going to work really well, they all completely flopped. And so we were just like, what is going on? This is so unpredictable. Is it even worth scaling? So what we set out to do was to build a bit of a model where we could start to piece together a better understanding to minimize the risk of a campaign not working, and really improve on our hit rate. Our hit rate was defined as how frequently can we hit our KPI, and our KPI was conversion. So yeah, to take you through a couple of these areas, I think you need to be really, really thorough with. So firstly, data kind of goes without saying, but you need to be really ruthless with how you're looking at things like reach, story views, link clicks, CPMs in different markets, post-campaign analysis, cost. My experience is that it can be a bit of a cowboy world out there when it comes to pricing. So figuring out what the right pricing for right CPMs were and what kind of deliverables. Demographic, again, sounds like a bit of a basic one, but just really making sure that the demographic of the audience of an influencer you're working with matches to your core audience that is converting with you online. Again, this is all from a kind of performance-focused perspective. Location, we found having a densely populated location can really help drive conversion rate. Content, we did a lot of testing around content. When was the right time to post? What were the right things to say? What was the right cadence to use a promo code? Offers, we did a lot of testing around offers. What was the best discount strategy to use to really cut through the noise? Messaging, refining your USPs, and having a really clear hierarchy so that you know they're heading on the right touch points for their audience. And lastly, relationship, like really working hard to build great relationships so that you can have a win-win situation with these influencers, build contracts that can be a long-term win for both of you, and also be able to call in a favor when something hasn't quite worked out, and you really need that. So understanding all of these areas, we sort of were able to piece together a formula which would improve our hit rate, and we had to test, we had to learn a lot. You need a really high risk tolerance, but we got to a stage where we knew if an influencer was posting in a specific market at a specific time with this exact audience at this exact price for the data they'd shared with us, that we were going to improve our hit rate by up to 50%. And so we could continue to take more risks and keep on reinvesting with those campaigns that necessarily didn't work. So once we'd kind of found a bit of a formula that was working for us, the next step was to really diversify. And I think as with business, it's the same with influence marketing. You need to diversify your strategy to truly unlock scale. That came in the form of diversifying our platforms. So, we didn't just work across Instagram, but we did a lot of testing on YouTube, on Snapchat. We've done testing on TikTok, on Twitch. And I think, when one channel is not working, you want to be able to pivot quite quickly. Same thing with tiers of influencers. I think you need to build a really broad funnel strategy with the influencers you're working with. Make sure you're connecting with nanos and micros who can be your real performance drivers. But equally, working with mega campaigns to drive awareness at the top of the funnel and all the way down. And then lastly, internationalization. We made the decision to go international pretty early with influencers, and that's been a decision that we look back on and was a great move for us, and has been able to help us pivot, diversify, lower the risk when some markets are going through a more turbulent time. Being able to work with influencers in different markets has been really crucial for us. So kind of quick update on where we are today. I'd say we've probably done over 10,000 campaign activations. So we've done this at scale. We've tested a lot. We've learned a lot. We failed a lot, but we think we have a good understanding of how it works for performance. We're in over 8 different markets, and I'd say we've probably invested upwards of £5 million. And here's just a picture of one of our latest brand partnerships we did with Stacey. And it's just a nice photo shoot we did with her when she launched a limited edition deodorant for us, and how it's really evolved to quite a big in-house function, which has been a bit of a beating heartbeat for us at Wild. And I just want to say, at this point, we feel like we've been through a bit of a journey already, but the future of influencer marketing is just as exciting. And there's been loads of talks today touching on that. And so, we feel like it's still only just getting started, and we're kind of scratching the surface. So that was a little bit on how we've scaled. And then, so a couple of reasons, just like looking back at that journey, why I think it's so important for businesses today to have this as a core part of their marketing mix. So firstly, I mentioned it just then, but influencer marketing can really become the growth engine of your business. It can be your heartbeat. That's certainly what it's been at Wild. And when we're having a really strong month with influencers, we're having a really strong month as a business typically. And for us, we've been very focused around kind of a few key KPIs, mainly driving conversion. And when you approach it like that, it means that all the added benefits can be a big halo effect for you. So, it's helped our brand awareness no end. It's become a big part of our content engine. I'd say 50% of the influencers we work with, we're working with UGC as well, and that feeds our paid social engine. We do a lot of whitelisting. and it's really helped us with certain relationships as we've scaled into retailers as well. It's also a very highly measurable and scalable acquisition channel. I think there's always a lot of talk about how do you actually measure influencer marketing, but you can be incredibly data driven with it, and that's how we've started and kind of where we are today. We track right from cost of acquisition to things like CPMs, click-through rates, conversion rates in different markets at different times and different demographics. You can measure it really clearly as long as you're willing to put in the effort to report on that data and really look to understand it. If you're measuring the data well and you're reporting on it thoroughly, that makes it even easier to scale and support those investment decisions internally. It supports your international and omni-channel growth. We've grown pretty quickly internationally, and influence has been a key part of that. Typically, when we're looking at a new market to launch in, influencer is our first channel that we'll test with. It's a great way to become culturally relevant quite quickly and start building your awareness online in those markets. And similarly with retail, buyers absolutely love seeing you work with really key influencers. It's a great buy-in for them, and it really supports kind of retail decisions as well as that general halo effect that you're getting from growing it as well. And then lastly, it can truly unlock business breakthrough moments. I think one of my most memorable moments at Wild was when we worked with an influencer who sadly I won't name today, but we went live with this influencer and we probably saw about a month's worth of revenue in the space of a day. That set the business on a completely different trajectory, and it has the power to do that, and it was just absolutely insane. So if you're continually taking risks and you're willing to commit to this channel, it's likely you will have your own breakthrough moments as well, and that can change the game for good. And then lastly, just wanted to run through some key lessons, some reflections, what I feel are really important to winning if you're scaling an in-house influence marketing function. And firstly, I would say negotiate. I think anyone at Wild would probably be sick of me saying this. It's the first thing that we train people up on when they join Wild. I'm always surprised how little negotiation happens. Obviously, with influencers, there's no clear pricing market, and it can be quite unpredictable. So you really have to negotiate hard, and you have to understand your levers to build into that negotiation. How are you selling in the brand? What is the long-term relationship potential? What's in it for the influencers in the long term? Using the data to really negotiate hard. And I'd say 9 times out of 10, a good negotiation can be the difference between a campaign working well or a campaign not working so well and hitting your KPIs. Secondly, you have to be data-driven. If you're going to scale influencers, especially from a performance perspective, you need to track the data, you need to understand what are the key metrics, and you need to report it and action on it really, really thoroughly and concisely. MPD and relationships are absolutely critical. I think if any of you know Wild, you'll know that we've done some pretty crazy product launches, from a toffee apple deodorant to a chocolate fondue deodorant. You've got to keep your products really fresh, and you've got to give influencers and creators something different to talk about each touch point you're working with them. That keeps their audience engaged, and it keeps those influencers excited to work with you in the long term. So MPD is critical to continued kind of good performance and also building great relationships. And then I'd also say you need a really high risk tolerance. Influencer marketing is not a channel for the faint-hearted. It's one where you have to be willing to put your neck on the line a little bit, to make investment decisions that you're not entirely comfortable with, and it might either work or it might not. But if you're willing to take the risks, then there can be some big rewards at the end of the day. And yeah, you just need to be able to learn from the ones that went wrong and really analyze the data. So yeah, wrapping things up, yeah, I just wanted to end with this. Like, you know, when I really reflect on how we've scaled at Wild Online, and especially with influencers, I think there is a thing such as product influencer market fit. And I think what I mean by that is it all starts with your product. If you don't have a product that people you know, are going to care about, that is genuinely going to change their routines and their lifestyle for the better, and is going to be sustainable and convenient, then it's going to be hard not only to get customers to buy in, but to get influencers to care and want to work with you. And I think ultimately a big part of how we've scaled influence marketing and it's been successful with Wild is because influencers have loved the product so much. So if you're going to go into it, you know, make sure you feel comfortable and confident in your product, and that's going to allow you to kind of, yeah, use all of the other learnings and unlock kind of true scale. Cool. That's it from me today. So yeah, thanks for listening, and hopefully the happy hour is still on.